Well, welcome back. It's time for the Morning Buzz. Special counsel Jack Smith asking the Supreme Court to rule on whether former President Donald Trump could be immune from prosecution. Smith making the request for the court to act quickly to prevent any delays that could push back Trump's March trial date in the U.S. District Court in Washington. Now, the Supreme Court ordering Trump and his lawyers to respond to Smith's petition by December 20th. Trump spokesperson saying that he objects to the idea of the high court taking this case right now. And let's talk about this, Todd Pyro, because the Supreme Court has agreed to consider the special counsel's request to rule quickly on whether or not Trump is immune. Of course, he says that President Trump says he's immune from prosecution and cannot face criminal charges related to efforts to overturn the November 2020 election. Your reaction?
Let's take a step back from what the Supreme Court did yesterday. In our country, it is the defendant that has a right to a speedy trial, not the prosecution. Think about any other cases that you know of right now. Are there demands to speed it up by the prosecution? I can't think of one other than things that are connected to Donald Trump and the 2024 election. There's no way around this one fact for Jack Smith, but for the fact that Donald Trump is in the race for the White House. Why else do you want to rush? Because if there's no Donald Trump entering the race in 2024, this is treated like any other case with normal timelines and timelines with regard to the Supreme Court that are very, very long. Many Supreme Court cases take 7, 8 years to come to fruition. This guy is only rushing it clearly because he doesn't want Donald Trump on the ballot. And the fact that more people don't see this is shocking to me.
No, and people do understand. I mean, look, and the Supreme Court is agreeing to fast track the consideration of whether or not to hear the case, suggesting that a decision could come within weeks on whether or not he could actually be immune or not, Cheryl.
Yeah.
But Todd's right. The whole point of this is so that they have a speedy, expedited trial so that Trump is out of the election. I mean, that in and of itself is election interference.
But remember, this is the courts, and, this is where the decision is going to be crucial because, look, every time that there has been a new charges levied against the former president, he's got 4 different cases going against him right now here in New York, the federal case, the Georgia case, for example, the classified documents case. Every time his poll numbers go up. And if for some reason this goes sideways in the courts and there is a delay, and Donald Trump is on that ballot next year against Joe Biden, it's going to actually hurt Joe Biden, hurt the Democrats. So this is actually, I think, a very risky strategy. And I'm talking about the political side of it. Obviously, Todd's addressing the legal of this, Maria.
Yeah, but this is all political, Rebecca. I mean, look, when you look at whether or not the Supreme Court should be expediting something just for the one fact that it's because the election is coming up, that's election interference.
Maria, this is a catch-22, and as a lawyer, I'm so glad to talk about this because it's so important. This is potentially the fundamental core at our republic. This could potentially make us a banana republic or not. You've got to understand half this country is looking at this as a political prosecution because it is specifically related to the 2020 election. And President Trump has made it very clear that he is adamant that he actually won that election. Whether we agree or don't agree, the point is that's what he believes, and that's what he stated, and that's how he acted. And so half this country believes this is political. And I want to say the United States Supreme Court has a very clear mandate about, it's called the political question doctrine. And what it says is they will do everything in their power to allow the voters to decide at the ballot box. If it's a political question, they say political question doctrine, and we're not going to decide. But I think that they took the unusual step of bypassing the D.C. Circuit because they knew the D.C. Circuit might come back with some kind of thing that could throw this election into a tailspin, and they did not want to take the constitutional risk of that. So that is highly unusual for them to bypass. We just had the federal district judge decide on December the 1st. They are bypassing the D.C. Circuit, and they're taking this on. Highly unusual, but it's because this is so important to our republic.
No, they want to take the D.C. Circuit out because they don't want any more delays. They want this trial to start on March 1st, and they want it over soon after, and they want Trump out, and they want Trump in jail. Again, election interference. We're going to keep a spotlight on this one. Got a quick break, and then House Republicans are gearing up for a big vote on Wednesday. That vote to formalize the impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. Even as top Democrats are trying to squash the effort, it's the hot topic.